What's poppin'? Welcome back to FNS Podcast. We here again,
Yeah,
back to
with
back.
another one.
A rarity.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
that's just how it played out.
So we here. We gonna talk about Shedeur and the greasiness that's going on with that situation, right? Then we gonna talk about teams that got eliminated recently in the playoffs, and then what they need to do in the offseason.
Yeah,
And currently, right now, the Rockets and the Warriors is playing.
right. Yeah,
Right
currently
now,
as we speak,
So
Indiana took game one, so they already took home court advantage.
which I'm surprised about a little bit.
But but yeah, we gonna get to that.
Mm-hmm.
But the first thing first, because I wanted to address this for a while now, but I was trying to be patient and wait for things to come out because I've been waiting because I wanted to hear all the reports that could come out before I jump off and start saying something, trying to defend folks.
Mm-hmm.
I really was trying to wait till I heard what Dion was going to say about all of this. He hasn't really said.
He's been putting out guy quotes.
Yeah, he hasn't said nothing, but there was a tweet or something that came out of something that he said in the past about Cleveland.
What do you
mean? He says something about like if you would be getting drafted by Cleveland, like you should pull an Eli Manning and try your best not to play for them or something like that. I'm gonna try to pull it up.
Now I'm gonna say this before you start going off a little bit. I forgot who said it, so I don't want to say nothing wrong here. But someone said that hey, I forgot what I was about to say here. I forgot what I was about to say. Oh yeah, no, he said the problem with Shedeur, he didn't have a manager. That's what was one of the issues. He didn't have an actual manager. It was his dad. You know what I'm saying? So right. I don't know.
The dad was acting as they somewhat agent for a while, but then you seen like things came out like Shiloh said like things ain't been going too well with him, so he had fired him and he picked up another agent, and then like the next day he was picked up by the Bucks.
Yeah, I was about to say he went to Bucks. That's pretty. Hey,
right.
I didn't even know. Wasn't it questionable if he was gonna go to the league anyway?
I mean, when I think about Shiloh and how he played last year, especially in some of the big moments, I can't think of 255 players that are better than that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I didn't hear his name ringing to go to the league. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, look, he wasn't going to be no top name that you hear about. He was going to be somebody that you probably can get some out of, because the thing with Shiloh, like you can see that his speed ain't really like his pops. Like I think he ran like a 4.6.
Would you agree? Would you agree to this? No matter some people, no matter how hard you work on your speed, it's just not there.
Well, I mean, yeah, for him, that's probably the best he can get, which is it's not a super big issue. Like you can run 4.6 and still do some things in this league. You just gonna be limited in what you can do.
Right.
You're just gonna be limited to what you do. It's like guys like that don't have speed as they weapon. Mm-hmm. They have to do everything on timing and anticipation. Like they have to be able to see things coming before it comes, so they know when to react.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to be right. Because if they end up being wrong, they don't have the ability to make up for it by being able to chase somebody down or being able to get back in position. So guys like him, I mean, I believe that his father, obviously gave him some game on stuff and what to expect and whatnot. But for you to not have speed, you have to be like great at everything else, which is, I can't say that he's great at everything else, but we'll see what happens. I mean, Could he contribute? Yeah. Could he turn into something? Yeah. I mean, we've seen players go undrafted and be long-time starters for teams, even Pro Bowl caliber players. So, like, this doesn't mean that he's not going to be anything. It just means that, you know.
Yeah.
And he's going to a good team, too, because Tampa is a team where it's like, you know, they got some good players around them. They ain't got the cream of the crop in the secondary, but that front line that they got, like, they drafted the really huge dude from the Florida Gators.
He's going to lose weight though, or something.
He's supposedly already lost some weight, but like him and Vita Vea, they got Vita Vea already over there, and both of them jokers is going to be like 350 pounds, and so it's like you get them two jokers on the field, you ain't running up the middle.
I mean, I'm glad he got signed because I'm glad. Yeah. But as far as Shedeur, do you think that do you believe that some of this is his doing, or is it all his pops?
I believe that there could be some truth to the things that I've said, and there could be some fabricated lies because of teams' feelings towards his pops. Okay, so this is what Deion said. This is a quote from 2018. He said, "I love what the Browns have done this offseason, but if I'm a young QB, ain't no way I'm going to Cleveland. I would pull a Eli Manning if possible." Which is, if folks don't know about Eli Manning, when Eli Manning got drafted, he originally got drafted by the San Diego Chargers. But when he got drafted, you could see the look on his face, like he was not happy. He didn't want to be there. And his pops being who he is, I think his pops got the deal done. But that same day, you never seen this really happen like this before, not in the NBA. But not in the NFL. I've seen it happen in the NBA. But where players get drafted to a certain team, and before the night is over, the team trades the player that they drafted to another team. That's not something that really happens in the NFL. But that happened with him. His face just didn't look like he was happy to be there. And he ended up getting traded to the New York Giants. So that was the Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers trade.
So Phillip Rivers is nice, dog.
They both was good. If you ask me, technically Phillip Rivers is better.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, Phillip Rivers, because he was my man for the Chargers, wasn't he? Yeah, man, that dude wasn't nothing to play with.
No, and he talk trash with the defense. Like he start talking trash to you too. Like, he got that attitude that I like. So, I mean, it is what it is. So that's what Deion said. But everything that I heard came out about Shedeur. I heard a number of things. Okay, so I heard one, that he botched a lot of the interviews in the sense like he wasn't prepared for any of the interviews, or at least for the teams that wasn't seriously looking at quarterback. Then a report came out about the Giants head coach, how there was supposed to be some preparation in the meeting that he had, and he purposely put some mistakes in that to see if Shedeur was going to catch it. And Shedeur was unprepared, and he didn't catch the mistakes, and he called him out on it. And supposedly Shedeur didn't like being called out on that. And that's what made them draft Jackson Dart in the first round. And then I seen another report saying that teams was avoiding drafting Shedeur Sanders because if they would have failed with that, they was saying that it could have been pressure that they was going to lose their jobs to Deion.
To Deion.
Yeah, to Deion. That's what the report
Didn't he just sign an extension with Colorado?
Well, extensions that can always be negotiated out. But I think it was RG3 that said that RG3 said that he was being told that some of the organizations was not drafting Shedeur for that reason.
My thing is this: if that, like, just think about this for a second. Wouldn't that do more damage to Shedeur? Because, like, okay, man, so you can't play unless your father's in the building. Wouldn't that mean that?
Well, that it wouldn't necessarily mean that, because there would have to be some things that, because maybe Shedeur balls out and does his part, but the guys around him don't. I mean, there's that part of it that could cause teams to fail too. So I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like failure is never all just on one person. See, like, here it is right here. Multiple NFL head coaches did not want to draft Shedeur Sanders in the first round out of fear of it not working out and being replaced by Deion Sanders, according to Robert Griffin III. He says, I'm being told some NFL head coaches fear drafting Shedeur Sanders in the first round as a starter, it not working out, and then eventually being replaced by Deion Sanders as head coach. That's weak and cowardly, cost this man $40 million. So that's what came out about
that's...
So, and so if I was to be honest here about this, I can see truth to all of those reports. Like, I can see Deion being in his ear and being like, this organization ain't serious. Don't even waste your time with them. Mm-hmm. Because if anybody remembers when Deion Sanders got drafted, he was a very flashy dude coming out of Florida State. And when he was going into some of his team's interviews and they was trying to ask him questions and stuff like that, he said, what pick y'all got? And they would say, like, pick like 5 or 6 or whatever it was. And he was like, and his answer to that would be like, oh, I'm gonna be gone by the time y'all pick. And he would just like get up and walk out the interview.
Okay, so let's put this in perspective. Deion Sanders is all world. Some people just special like that.
Right.
Some people is. I don't see that in his kids. They nice. Shedeur is nice, but I don't see Deion nice.
Right.
Guy understand this dude played in the World Series and played, like, this dude is cold, dog. Like, he was cold. I think at one point he said he'll run back every kick return. All you gotta do is play music. Right.
And so,
you know what I mean?
My thing is this. The thing about Shedeur Sanders botching the interviews, I can see that happen. Just because with his father being who he is, and with him kind of showing who he is too, I can see him not taking that part of it serious, because he may view it as, oh, this ain't really all that important because this ain't got nothing to do with what the team is really going to be like. So he could probably reason it that way. And then if his pops is guiding him, because his pops played in the league, he knows owners, he knows general managers, he knows coaches. So he knows who's good at their job and who's bad at their job. He knows a bad organization from a good organization. And so he can look at that and look at his son and be like, okay, look, this is who's over there. This is who's over there. You don't want to play for him. I can see that being the case. What I can also see being the case is teams not wanting to draft him for fear that if it doesn't work, they get fired. Because when you draft a quarterback in the first round and they don't work, that's normally the move that gets GMs fired and head coaches fired. Mm-hmm. And so I believe that there's some truth to that too. Like, teams is the extra pressure. And then the other thing about just dealing with Deion, like, teams report came out that like teams just didn't want to deal with Deion like that.
Are they wrong for that?
I can see that being the truth too. I can see that being the truth too. But my thing is, if you really feel like Shedeur Sanders is a great prospect that could be your franchise quarterback,
mm-hmm.
and you don't draft him because of his pops or because of his personal persona of being flashy, then you gotta remember what's the point of your job. What is the point of your job? Your job is to put team together that can win football games.
Yeah.
Now, Shedeur Sanders, he said at the combine about history repeating itself and how he dealt with how he dealt with nobody wanting him to be successful, or dealt with the odds being against him and still winning everywhere he went, turning around the culture or having something to do with the culture being turned around. He's not wrong there. He's not wrong. Yeah. He's not wrong there. Like, he had some impact there with each team that he's been to, changing the culture. Like him going to Jackson State with his following his pops, and of course Travis Hunter going there too. Them going to Jackson State, we wouldn't have been talking about Jackson State without mentioning Shedeur. Mm-hmm. Same thing when he went to Colorado. We wouldn't really be talking about Colorado without mentioning Shedeur. Like the whole thing with him showing the watch, that became a thing.
Yeah, like, I remember that.
And Shedeur has played good in big moments. Now, he has his fair share of not winning too, just like how the number 1 overall pick Cam Ward did.
Yeah.
They both did not play in the playoffs. That don't
mean you go botching interviews though.
Right. So
I don't agree with that tactic, bro. I just
not
don't
at
agree
all.
with that tactic.
Me neither.
You know.
So I can see that being the case, and then because these owners are in cahoots with each other. Mm-hmm. Maybe he didn't botch all of them, but he botched the ones that certain owners they didn't really like, and then they spreading that to the other owners, and they like, I wouldn't draft him, all that stuff. Because I wouldn't doubt that they had a point that they trying to make out of Deion Sanders. I wouldn't doubt that neither. So I'm not saying that I know what's facts and what's not. But what I am saying is this. Shedeur Sanders, he was the number 1 quarterback, potentially, depending on who you talk to, coming out the draft. Mm-hmm. And for him to not hear his name called until day 3, round 5, day 3, like, even if you didn't need a quarterback, but you got a vet that don't got that much time left. Mm-hmm. Think about how much good that would have did for Shedeur if he would have been holding the clipboard watching Matthew Stafford play his last year's start.
Should have thought about that before you started botching interviews.
Well, yeah, this is true.
If this is, because it's the thing, right?
Because these are all alleged. There is no video that came out, at least not yet.
Right, exactly. But this is the thing. We going over into the big leagues now. This isn't college.
Right.
No, this is actually the big leagues. Yeah, your dad was part of it, but he didn't run the big leagues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you dealing with contracts and things now. Okay, the point is getting through the door. You in the door, okay, cool. So if you don't like a certain team, you go there, do what you're supposed to do. Handle your business. Don't talk junk. Do your thing. The other team see this, they gonna want to come at you. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. Do your time and then move on from the team. Right. That would be the advice I give them. I don't believe in don't do all that, because you're not gonna win this battle.
Right. And that's where I think the misguidance of Deion could be the issue here. Because if Deion is the one that teams don't want to deal with, because Deion, he has a way about him, and not saying that he's right or wrong, but you got to know what kind of fight you fighting and who you fighting against. Mm-hmm. And so for him to do that, like, that could have been what messed him up. Mm-hmm. That could have been what messed his draft process up. he should have been like Dion. He probably looks at his son like how other fathers or parents sometimes do with their own kids. They feel like they're the best thing since sliced bread and whatnot. So he probably should have been having somebody else, mentor. I mean, look, he's supposed to be really tight with Tom Brady. Why not have Tom Brady be there for him as far as this process for a quarterback? If you that tight with him. I mean, but Tom Brady, I don't know what the stipulations is of him being able to do that, being that he's up in the office for the Raiders.
Is he?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's like part owner or something like that. I think it was, or I don't know if it's.
So is this why the Raiders talk was? So is that why people was talking, having all that Raiders talk then?
Yeah, that's part of the reason why people was having the Raiders talk. But like it, even if he's not the starter, it would have done him good to hold the clipboard for a team that may have a temporary placeholder at quarterback, and he can learn. And if he comes in and just takes the job, then you didn't make a wrong choice here. Because that's what Russell Wilson did. When Russell Wilson got drafted, he wasn't drafted to be the starter, but Pete Carroll said that his play in practice and in the preseason demanded him to have an opportunity. Next thing you know, he's a starting quarterback.
What round did Russell Wilson get drafted?
I think he was a 5th round quarterback too.
Because didn't he get also drafted to the MLB? I seen the game where he was playing baseball, dog.
Yeah, he got.
It wasn't no celebrity game
MLB.
either. He was actually playing like.
Yeah, he was. I think it was to the Rangers or something like that. But yeah, he got drafted to the MLB. Him, Jameis Winston, I think he did too. So yeah, I mean, and it's not the first time that a player comes out having some concerns that organizations personally didn't like, but they still rolled the dice on. So I part of me feels like most of this was the league trying to send a message to Dion. Because then you started seeing conflicting messages come out as he was still sitting on the board. Like the Dallas Cowboys, they said something about that draft night too. They said, let me see if I can find that. What did they say? Let me see here. Yeah, Jerry Jones said that Sanders had extremely high evaluation for QB, but didn't make sense on the roster.
How does that make sense?
It doesn't. It doesn't make sense
at all.
It don't make sense. But that's what Jerry Jones said. He said they were extremely high on him. Extremely high on him. Everybody already knows how Cowboys fans and the NFL fans around the world feels about Dak Prescott. Like Dak Prescott, he's not going to win no team, no championship. And with the way that division is looking right now, Philadelphia got that thing sold up right now. Washington is in second place. And then there's going to be the battle between New York and Dallas for third. So Dak has already climaxed. So if you were extremely high on him, think about what that would have done. Like Shedeur to Dallas. But but now here's the thing now. Every team that passed up on him that needed a quarterback. Because we've seen the Saints. The Saints was the biggest one. They drafted that Tyler Sold cat. And remember, I sent you the clip where the dude footwork and everything was off, and he threw that pass at the combine and missed like bad.
I seen that before you sent it.
Right.
I'm like, I don't think Shedeur would have did that. You know what I'm
No,
saying? He was
not at
mad
all.
accurate. Yeah, he was
Not at
accurate.
all.
If anything, he was mad accurate. If there's anything that you want to say he's elite at, he's
Right.
accurate.
Well, technically, he was the most accurate quarterback coming out of this draft.
So due to the fact that
And
y'all don't
people
like
was
his daddy, you
right.
the most important thing I would like to think is accuracy. Because you hear about quarterbacks all the time, like if we just got to work on his throwing, that's it.
Right.
He didn't have that problem.
Right. And, teams started to say, oh, they worried about his arm. Like he doesn't have. I didn't see no game in college where I was worried about Shedeur Sanders' arm being able to make a throw. And even if he doesn't have a cannon for an arm, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have a good enough arm to play in this league. Look, Chad Pennington played in this league. And Chad Pennington has one of the weakest arms within the past 30 years of any quarterback started.
Now, let me ask you this question. Can't you improve your arm strength to throw? Or no?
You can improve it a little bit, but cannon, you probably can't improve it to having the cannon. But like a lot of that is mechanics because your strength comes from your base.
Yeah.
So like it's all of that. All of that is like, Mike Tomlin said it. If you a coach, you shouldn't run from coaching.
Didn't Vic have a cannon? He wasn't accurate though. So what does that mean?
Yeah. Vic had a cannon. He was ambidextrous.
But if he wasn't accurate with the pass, then what? You know what I mean? Like
his accuracy was inconsistent. And then we seen Tim Tebow.
Isn't he a little underrated, man? Like why do they
not for an NFL
like
quarterback?
Like Tim Tebow, man.
For college,
he do good in with the Broncos in the playoffs?
No, he did not do good with the Broncos for the playoffs. All he did was he completed one pass. He completed one pass that was a slant. So technically, he only threw it like maybe 5 or 6 yards down the field, and the receiver took it and ran for like 80 yards for the touchdown against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they want to give him credit for that, but you can't forget all the other throws that he had throughout that game because Tim Tebow's accuracy was terrible. Terrible. Footwork was bad.
So my question is this: why did he get drafted like that? You know what I mean? Because I remember he came out in 2011,
something like that.
So why did he get drafted? Things I know in Florida they had a cold squad. Florida, dog.
Yes, they did. They had a team lined up from top to bottom, and there's a lot of things that go into that too. But for him to get drafted, he had an agent. He has the attitude that everybody likes, and he's also gonna most likely sell out arenas just because of being who he is. But we seen his career was very short. His career was very short, and in college he was cold. But you can mask problems in college when you got great players surrounding that dude. Tim Tebow was a legendary college quarterback, but when you think about his prospects of being an NFL quarterback, it was piss poor. Piss poor. And had they would have been willing to deal with Cam Newton properly, Cam Newton was supposed to be the next quarterback in line at Florida. But some things went down. So, apparently there was some trouble that he got into, and that made him transfer. Which is, okay, this ain't the first time a player gets into trouble, and you can fight for him to help him to be able to overcome that and still keep him on the roster. Think about it. This is the same school that kept Aaron Hernandez on the squad, and he out here killing folks, literally.
In college too?
Oh, he had a murder going back to him in college. So it's funny business all the way around. It's funny business all the way around. But anyway, back to Shedeur. Like, as far as a pro quarterback is concerned, Shedeur has the capability to do this. He's used to dealing with a bad offensive line. So under pressure, decisions that he has to make when it comes time to throw the ball and throw it with accuracy, he's good at doing that. Now, the only thing that some scouts were saying about him was that he holds the ball too long and that causes him to take some sacks. That could be true, but that's not the only player that we've ever said that about.
So can I say this?
Yeah.
So with Shedeur Sanders being a black quarterback.
Yes, that has something to do with it.
But yes. The thing is, but this is the thing. He don't play like the typical black quarterback. He play like a pocket passer. He's a pocket passer.
Right, yes. Right.
So
he's a pocket passer.
So on one aspect, it's a problem that all the black quarterbacks, they just scramble, they can't throw. Because that's the thing with him, right? So this guy, he actually can throw. He doesn't scramble like that, but he plays in the pocket and throws with accuracy.
See, but the thing with Shedeur,
quarterback to be, right?
The thing with Shedeur is that Shedeur does have mobility. He just doesn't have elite mobility. He can scramble when necessary, but he's always ultimately looking down the field to try to throw the ball. Which is what's the thing that is always said about quarterbacks when it comes time to winning games in November, December, heading into the Super Bowl. You got to be able to stand in the pocket and make the throws. That's what they always say. Shedeur Sanders already has that skill set. Yeah. So whether you think Cam Ward was better or not, that's not what this is about. It's about you passed up on that kind of a talent and you were nitpicking certain things and maybe you ran away from coaching. You ran away from coaching him because you didn't want to deal with his pops.
Yes. That's cheeseball work right there. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion.
And look, I wouldn't have done it, but hey, he got drafted to a team where he can easily compete and take the starting job if he gets the opportunity. If he gets a fair shot, he can take that job. Because right now, that quarterback room has Deshaun Watson, who's most likely injured and not going to play much of the next season because of his injury that he had last year. That's walking over. Joe Flacco, who's like 40 years old. Then you got Kenny Pickett, the guy that Pittsburgh did draft, but his hands is really small and he's not that good. And then you drafted Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders. You drafted him in the 3rd round. And then you draft Shedeur. This is a very winnable situation for Shedeur. Like, he can walk in there and be the most talented quarterback amongst all of them that is going to be available to play. Because if we talking talent, technically it's Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson has descended really bad. And I don't know if we're going to ever get the Houston version.
He might get cut.
It's too much money that he's getting paid. Like they're gonna have to eat a big chunk.
So what's guaranteed then? Because we're not gonna act like the NFL don't be.
He has a fully guaranteed contract.
It's fully guaranteed.
Yeah. He has a fully guaranteed contract.
That's rare.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he has a fully guaranteed contract. So what I'm saying. So pretty much this battle is really going to be between Shedeur, Dylan Gabriel, and Joe Flacco to start. That's what this really is going to be about. I think he can beat out Dylan Gabriel. Beating out Joe Flacco might be the challenge.
Why?
Because Joe Flacco is a vet. He has the arm. He's the one that helped lead them to the playoffs the last time that they made it when they lost to C.J. Stroud. So he's the one that he would have to outshine and do better than.
I haven't heard you say much good about Joe Flacco throughout the years.
I'm not a big Joe Flacco guy. Like, does he have a cannon for an arm? Yeah, he has a cannon for an arm. But I'm not the biggest Joe Flacco guy. Like, I feel like I feel like he's okay. Like, is he a starting quarterback in his heyday? Yeah. Even now he could be. But like, I don't look at Joe Flacco and be wowed at too much of anything. Like, I just be like, okay, this dude is solid. And all them years,
but you would take him though, wouldn't you?
It depends on what my situation is looking like. Like, being that my team is Jacksonville, I would take him to be that vet voice behind Trevor Lawrence. But he's not coming in to like compete for no starting gig. I wouldn't do that, but you know, hey, it is what it is. So I mean, I think Shedeur has a chance to take the starting job if he gets a fair shot in rookie minicamp, training camp, preseason. If he gets a fair shot then, and he shows them that he's capable, because now he's in the door and he's in a very favorable, well, somewhat favorable situation where he could cause the team to be like, we might just need to start him.
If you like you said, always say, if you care about your future, why would you think otherwise? Why would you Deshaun Watson, Flacco, why would you even be considered, like, besides Deshaun Watson's contract, which to me, I don't see how they can't, like, buy him out or anything. They don't do buyouts in the NFL?
You don't really hear about too many of those, but, or at least not for big contracts like this. At least not for big contracts like this. See, but the thing is, now every team that didn't draft Shedeur that could have used this, like Pittsburgh is a team that definitely could have used it. Pittsburgh they got Mason Rudolph slotted to be their starting quarterback right now. And then they drafted Will Howard out of Ohio State, who ain't really the greatest quarterback anyway. He wasn't even the greatest quarterback at Ohio in college. He just was surrounded with some talent. So I'm not sure, like, every team that didn't pick Shedeur, that needs a quarterback, that needs a change there. Every team that didn't pick Shedeur is going to be dealing with this problem now. When the quarterback that you got on your roster, if he start messing up and he start looking terrible and the crowd start booing knowing it's him, you're going to start seeing stuff like, we should have drafted Shedeur. You're going to start seeing that. It's going to come, especially if Shedeur Sanders shows in Cleveland that he's capable of balling. See, but now Shedeur Sanders, like, you drafted to a team that really didn't want you. They really didn't want you.
So why'd they get him?
Why'd they get him?
Y'all already 4 quarterbacks deep. Why'd you add a 5th one then if you didn't want him? That don't make any sense to me, Josh.
Right. Exactly. So you already drafted to a team that kind of doesn't look like they know really what they do.
Do you think they did that due to Deion's quote back in the day?
Probably. I don't know. I mean, like, franchises hold grudges, especially when players say stuff about them like that. Like, could you ever see Joakim Noah in the Cleveland Cavaliers jersey after what he said about Cleveland? He even doubled down on it.
If Brian wanted him.
Well, at that,
if Brian wanted him, he would have been in that jersey.
Well, Brian wanted a number of players that they didn't get.
I'm saying.
Brian wanted a number of players that they get.
Joakim wasn't wrong on what he said either. He wasn't wrong.
No, he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong at all. But you got to remember that that's a franchise that lost LeBron twice. They lost LeBron twice. They had the opportunity to do right by him or by building the team around him that he could compete with, and they failed twice. So listen, I'm not saying that Cleveland, Cleveland could be good for a lot of players, but maybe Deion looks at Cleveland like a joke, especially after saying what he said. But hey,
it is. Look, my thing is this: I get it. I can easily say, yeah, we all grown men here, but people do have feelings and people do be, in them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I get it, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, talent is talent.
Right.
You know, accuracy is accuracy. He got it in his chest already. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he obviously he's not perfect. I mean, you know, he got some things he could work on, but the key things is there. The key
Right.
things is there, and he's not your typical air quote black quarterback that just scramble every 2 seconds. He could play in the pocket. That's something that he got there. You know what I'm saying? So if you get this man an offensive line, he should be a receiver's dream right there. He accurate. You know what I'm saying? Like, man,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Make
Yeah.
it easy to catch. Oh man,
Yeah.
receivers should love him. You know what
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Of course. So I mean, you know, and when I think about his weapons, he's not in a bad situation with his weapons wise neither. Like
Mm-hmm.
he got a good receiving tight end, David Njoku. He got a
Mm-hmm.
good receiver. Is he got a good receiver and Jerry Judy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like he doesn't have nothing to work with. And then of course they're gonna have some other receivers on the roster that's probably trying to do something. Like I haven't pulled up their depth chart or anything like that, but he has a chance. Now he just has to show it. Now, is it possible that he could show it and then he falls into the politics stuff again where, oh yeah, well, you know, we don't want him starting because we don't want to hear nothing from Deion Sanders.
That's stupid, fam.
But you know that this is something that the league is capable of doing.
That's stupid though, man. That's dumb, dog. Like that's stupid in the mug, Josh. Like
you're right. I'm just
I can't
I'm just
find
saying
no
that
reason. I can't see nowhere where this makes sense.
hey, look.
Now him dropping the 5, I mean, listen, it's not the end of the world here. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. You dropped the 5, fine. You can still go out and have a Hall of Fame career being at 5, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It is
Right.
what it is. You know what I mean? No big deal. But
Right.
all this pettiness due to his pops.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. He probably could have been a tyrant behind the scenes. Shedeur.
Right.
Who knows? I don't know. He probably could have been really back there like, dog, you know what I'm saying?
See, my thing is that Deion, like when it comes to that in particular,
mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that that's impossible to be true, but everything that we've seen, Deion has pretty much let everybody in on how he coaches the team and even his sons.
Mm-hmm.
He got the social media team catching him in meetings. You hear him saying, if I ever hear anybody disrespecting one of these females works here, you off the team. You know, he's instilling some old school values when it comes to preparation and things of that nature. We've seen him do that. And we've seen him kick his own sons out the meeting because they was late.
That's fine.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that couldn't be done for show. But
I was about to say, like, that it's a possibility. It's always a possibility,
right?
To
but
make yourself look some type of way,
right? But knowing what we know about Deion, as far as when he played, he takes preparation very serious. Like he even swung on one of his teammates about not having the right attitude when it came to preparing for another team, because he was talking. Well, he said he was like, yeah. He don't even want to look like he got beat. And so he was talking to the safety, hey man, you need to be back there. And the safety gave him an answer that he didn't like. And he said, hey man, be back there. Safety gave him another answer that he ain't like. And so he just got up and swung on him.
And then that's where he'd be missing the game.
Right.
Swing on me, you missing the game, brother.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying that to say I can see Deion instilling good values in him. So for Shedeur to be a certain, because listen, look, it's not far-fetched for teammates to be jealous of their teammates. You know,
I mean, you throwing a bunch of people from different areas on the same team. I mean, everybody not gonna rock, all kind of stuff. I mean, it is what it is, especially when folks is getting paid, or even in college. You know what I'm saying? You got cats in college, so their dream is to go to the NFL and all that, and they feel like you in the way. You know what I'm saying? And all kind of stuff. You messing up my exposure. So
Mhm.
same thing in the pros, man. Like, we are, and everybody getting paid. So their whole objective is to get the most dough. So, that's definitely a bunch of hate going on in the league. We know that. So I mean, I get it. But at the end of the day, this is deeper than his play because his play didn't warrant to be dropped
Right.
all the way where he was at. It's just straight like that.
Yeah. Especially for especially for the likes of some of the other guys that got drafted before him.
Yeah. I mean, even if he got drafted in the second round, okay, whatever.
Yeah, that's
I'm
no
saying,
big deal. Because when you drafting somebody in the second round, most likely these are dudes that still have a chance to be instant contributors.
Yeah.
So, hey, it is what it is. I mean, but right now the good thing is the ball is somewhat in his court. Unless he falls to some politics, the ball is in his court. So he need to be serious about diving in that playbook, knowing what's what. He need to be getting his rhythm down with his teammates, and he got to show out in OTAs, rookie minicamp, training camp, preseason. He got to show out.
I would just say this. I'm not saying don't be yourself. I'm just say, look, man, keep a low profile and get busy.
Right.
Keep a low profile and get busy until you go to a place you want to go to, because he don't have to stay in Cleveland, bro. You go there, do your thing, you know what I'm saying? And
Well, the thing with the NFL, they got them franchise tags. They can
just franchise tag you without you accepting it?
Yeah, they franchise tagging you. They pretty much have the rights to your services for that next year.
Right, but
they can do that, I think, for 3 years maximum. So your rookie deal is like 4 years. And then if they franchise tag you for 3 years after that, so you're talking about 7 years.
So if he want to slide after the 4, they can block that?
Yeah, they can block that joint. The only way
that's jacked up, dog.
Because he has to get past that 3rd year because they only allow that for so many times.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way that they can that he can avoid that is if somebody else on the roster is somebody else that they kind of view as more valuable or whatnot, that they franchise tag him.
So let me get this straight. So he could play the 4 years, right? I did my time. I did my thing. I want to go. This team offering me this right here. You only paying me this. No, we going to franchise tag you and keep you here. So you going to mess up my cheese like that and I don't even want to be here?
That's happened to other players in the past.
You don't want to pay me?
That's happened.
That's some bull right there, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, see, the thing with the franchise tag is it doesn't do the organizations any favors financially, because what it does is, instead of what your contract value is, you get paid the value of your position. You get paid that straight up for 1 year. So instead of having a contract worked out with you where they pay you certain amount over time, if your positional value is like 20 million for per year, then you just getting a straight 20 mil with the franchise tag. And then, especially with him being the quarterback, the value of that just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. So teams theoretically should not want to franchise tag a quarterback, because that's the richest paid position on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to pay that to somebody. They rather work out a long-term deal that could be backloaded, front loaded, or whatever it is like that they can be able to have the numbers work in their favor.
So even if that's messed up. So if I want to, that's messed up, dog. I don't like that. No wonder why people get upset about the franchise tag.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of it.
So if I gave you my 4, played it out, I didn't trip nothing. Like, look, man, it was good. You know what I'm saying? I just want to slide on. okay, Baltimore offered me this. I want to go over there. Oh no, we gonna
test the market and everything like that. Yeah.
Nope, we gonna bang. You ain't going nowhere, fam.
Right.
Seriously, that's some bull right there. That's some BS right there.
But they can only do it to one
BS,
player.
dog.
They can only do it to one player per off season.
I don't care who. That's still some BS, especially if he didn't cause no problems and he exercising his right to be a free agent and explore the market. And you gonna tag me?
Yeah.
I wonder why these dudes be mad about that.
Yeah. Would
you be mad about that if you were a player?
Yeah. Could you imagine that in the NBA?
The franchise tag in the league? Almost like they need it.
Well, I mean, they kind of do need it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they probably need the franchise tag over there.
Yeah, you ain't going to be bouncing around on me. No, you staying right here.
We transition over there anyway. So, since you done with Shedeur?
Yeah, we can be done with Shedeur.
All right, so the league probably do need franchise tags.
Yeah, to keep players from bouncing around.
Know what I'm saying? So much. Like, for real. So, I mean, I don't know. So, that Shedeur, I think, I as long as, like you said, as long as they don't be trying to sabotage this dude, or if he don't do any self-sabotaging, I think he'd be straight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think he'd be straight. But as far as the eliminations, let me pull up this game real quick.
Well, I already got it right now. The Warriors is up 75-62, 10 minutes and 30 seconds in the fourth. Right now. But let's go ahead.
Is this a fireable offense if they lose?
Who, the Warriors or the Rockets?
Rockets.
No, it's not no fireable offense because you already don't have the coldest players on your roster. Like, you got some good players, but they young. They ain't got no playoff experience. This their first time dancing in this arena. So, I mean, I can't say that that's a fireable offense because kind of like with the Pistons, look at where they was last year and where they at now.
It's a whole different discussion. This a whole different scene.
No. But what I'm saying is they wasn't a playoff team last year. They went from not being a playoff team to being regular season wise the number 2 seed in the West.
Mm-hmm.
That's some big time improvement especially with the roster that they got, because we already know Jalen Green has not shown up at all.
He should be on the trading block, or he should be getting booted this summer.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that that's the answer, but I'm also saying that.
So
I'm not in disagreement.
So if
I'm not in total disagreement here, but what I'm saying is, for them, he's been their best scorer.
And how have that worked out?
It's not working out right now.
All right, so if the Bucks got on the phone, like, look here, man, we know you want to come up off of Jalen Green
for Giannis, straight up.
Giannis. It's gonna be some other stuff involved there, but. You know, because Jalen Green, I don't know what's going on, but
the one that I'm not getting rid of is Sengun.
For Giannis, it's not like Sengun is having the greatest series.
No, but he doing more than Jalen Green.
No, he not out there looking like
he not cooking.
He not cooking like how you say. Like when you talk about Sengun and all that,
well, right now he got 14 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's solid right now, but
you
want more than that in the game 7 though.
Right, yeah,
so that's cool and all, but you supposed to be.
Like I said, these young, inexperienced players, this is their first time dancing in this arena, and they going up against at least a higher IQ team.
No, they're definitely for sure, but the thing is, there's no excuse for Jalen Green's play. So therefore,
there ain't no excuse for his play.
Because at one point I was questioning about Cade a couple years ago. Like, man, Cade,
right? Yeah, we all were.
I don't know, but now we see it's a clear difference.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, but the Bucks, I don't think it's unrealistic if Giannis and if they talking about Houston is keeping an eye on this. If they're like, look, Jalen Green, this can be somebody you build around. He got this, but you know,
it's gonna have to be with somebody else. Like it's gonna have to be with like if I'm them, Amen is not on the table.
Yeah, no.
Since Sengun is not on the table, I don't think they will want Fred VanVleet being at his age is what it is.
You want to keep VanVleet with Giannis.
So I'm thinking that with that package, you probably gonna want to do Jalen Green and Jabari Smith.
That's
You
not
probably
bad.
want to package them in a deal. You might throw a draft pick in there for Giannis, and then this way you have Van Vliet as your starting one, and then you give Reed Shepherd the starting minutes that you was giving Jalen Green if he's developed properly. You keep Amin at the 3, Giannis at the 4, Sengun at the 5. That's your lineup.
That's not bad, dog. It's not
That's
like
not bad at
Giannis.
all.
It's not like, listen, like Giannis, he's who he is, but the way he plays, it's effective for what he does. You know what I'm saying? Do I like his style? No, but he got 2 MVPs with it and a championship with it.
Right.
So it's not like it's useless. So I mean,
but
I think that's
they still got a lot of game to play, so we can't really say because it's just under 10 minutes to go and they down 9.
Yeah, but I'm keeping an eye on it.
But let's go to the teams that got eliminated. So the first team that got eliminated was the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis, this is a team fired their head coach right before the playoffs started. Ja Morant, he got hurt in this series, which probably contributed to them getting swept versus them winning that game. Maybe
I
2.
said he figured them out.
That's what he said. But I'm just going by what the scores to the games was looking like, because it's not like the Thunder was out here like really cooking them. Like there was one game in that series where the Grizzlies was up by 30 and they blew that lead. And I think that's the game where Ja got hurt.
Look, Ja, I don't know. I think
he needs a different. He needs a change of scenery.
Yeah,
he needs a change of scenery.
I think that Ja is cold, but Memphis has never been that type of a franchise anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You know what I mean? They don't know nothing about winning in the first place. If you want to be honest,
because they over here trying to give the reins to Jaren Jackson Jr.
Now they did have Zach Randolph in them, but still, like that was their best. For me, that was their best team.
Yeah.
Zach Randolph,
Marc Gasol,
that was their best team.
Yeah, that was their best team. Didn't nobody want to deal with them.
They was
Tony
cold.
Allen.
That team was built off straight up defense and straight brute offense. There wasn't nothing flashy about that.
Right.
That'd have been a nice team for Carmelo to be at. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
a team like that. But I think so. How about this? Would you? Well, I don't know if the Grizzlies. I don't think Giannis will want to be in no Grizzly uniform. But I'm saying, like, would you trade Giannis for Ja if you the Bucks?
If you can pull that off straight up, that's not bad. Because I mean, Giannis over there, the Grizzlies is still a good, like they still played well under the old coach. This new coach, I don't know exactly for sure if this is going to translate into the regular season next year, when I think they extended him and gave him the shot or whatever. But whatever the case, it was the Nuggets I think that did that. But anyway, I'm not sure that the Grizzlies can be that good throughout the regular season and be taken seriously in the playoffs without a clear star player at the forefront.
Giannis is a star player at the forefront.
Right, but what I'm saying is so if you Milwaukee, are you just going to want Josh straight up?
The Bucks, why not?
Because like you could make the argument, man, if this dude picks up a gun, he going to be suspended. And then now he's falling into the injury status because he's been hurt.
I said that before about him, though.
But
you know
it's not nothing like what Derrick Rose is.
It's going to get to that, though. It's going to get there.
Well,
he played.
I mean, though the way he plays could be similar, but he doesn't land as violent as Derrick Rose did.
The way he plays is he already having these knick-knack injuries, and that's due to his style of play. However you want to spin it, it's going to get bad. You know what I'm saying? Due to his style of play, the way.
Well, this last time he got hurt, he got his legs taken out of him when he was airborne.
If you had a jump shot, you wouldn't have to be airborne. If you
Yeah,
had a
but
pure jump shot, you wouldn't have to be. Now, you shouldn't have your legs taken up under you, but you want to play as efficient and safe as possible. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. So I don't like Josh's style of play, dog. I just don't like that reckless style of play because you just put yourself. It's more of a you can always get injured or always pop some just on some normal stuff, but it's more at a risk when you in the air like that. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
mean, if we being honest, more dudes have gotten hurt being on the ground than being in the air in recent history.
that's cool. Whatever the case is, Ja Morant, there's some things he needs to fix. You know what I mean in his game. Point
Yeah, I'm
blank
not
period.
saying that
You know
you're
what I
wrong
mean?
there.
So it is what it is, and that style of play doesn't last forever. It always you're gonna have to develop some actual pure skill in order to have a longer career because the athleticism is nice, it's good for TV, it's good for highlights, all that. But at the end of the day, the basket is 2 points.
Right.
So
I mean, unless he get an and one with it, which is like that's a way because I say this. And one is always going to be more effective than a three. Because an and one, not only is you getting to the free throw line, you getting players in foul trouble over there.
that's fine. You know what I mean? I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. That's fine. It's 82-82 right now. I mean, it's 82-72.
Right.
Got it on right now here.
6 minutes left.
See it. So, but yeah, like I mean, Ja just need to. I think that whole situation is like on some wear out their welcome type stuff. I mean,
but my thing is, if you Memphis and you trading away Ja, if you trade away Ja, you got to get something cold in return. Now you brought up Milwaukee. Giannis most likely wouldn't want to go there. But if he does, how does he fit? Because you already got Edie over there, you got Jaren Jackson Jr. Like my thing is, I would be trying to package Jaren Jackson Jr. Here, y'all can have him too.
Honest? For Giannis?
No, I'll be like, okay, you want to get rid of Giannis? Let me get I'll take Kuzma. Give me Giannis and Kuzma, and you can have Jaren Jackson Jr. and Giannis. Because I'm not Giannis and Jaren Jackson Jr. They play the same position, and I don't.
You could trade Jaren Jackson for somebody else though to bring in with Giannis.
Yeah, you can, but either way, I'm getting rid of Jaren Jackson Jr. Like if I'm Memphis, I mean, if you look at Memphis, who's the keepers on that roster?
Nobody.
Is there anybody on that roster worth keeping?
No, I mean
maybe Edie.
Well, yeah, because he's the young guy. You know what I'm saying? The
prospect, maybe Edie, but
he's the project. So you want to spend a couple years with him to see what he turned out to. But
Scottie Pippen Jr. maybe.
Scottie Pippen Jr. will always be a trade piece, dog.
Right, but I'm saying like just because he's the next guard that's been getting more playing time and whatnot, and he showed that he can hoop. If you keep him around,
yeah, but he's always the guy. He's always the guy that if somebody hits you with an offer and they want him and it's something you like, you're gonna get rid of him.
Yeah. What about Desmond Bane? Is Desmond Bane the keeper to you?
He's a good piece to trade because he can shoot, play some defense, big guy. So I mean, he can. I'm not saying he's like elite in the end, but I mean he's a good piece to a team. You know what I'm saying? So he's always gonna have value to him.
They first order of operations though need to be getting a coach.
Mike Malone, he out there.
They need something.
You wouldn't hire Mike Malone with the Grizzlies?
I would. I mean, I would have never fired Taylor Jenkins. That's just my personal opinion. I would have never done that.
I agree, but obviously there were some problems. I don't know what, but it had to be.
Right, but if he calling out folks for stuff that they doing wrong, I don't have no problem with that. I'd rather get rid of them players because look, we already shown that we can draft and develop guys around here, so you can just be another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the main story with them, like figuring out what's the deal. Okay, so what about this? What if you trade Ja? Do you think that that's a straight up possibility trade, Ja and Trae Young? You think Atlanta will do that?
Well, Trae Young better than Ja, bro. He's a better basketball player than Ja Morant.
I can see that. And I could definitely see that.
He don't dunk and all that, but he's a better basketball player, like, period. So it's like,
well, I don't know if it's like all like cut and dry like that because Trae Young's size and his lack of defense. Because Ja does have some defensive impact on the game. It's just that Trae Young, being that he's a better shooter, he can score a little bit easier. But not to say that Trae Young is highly efficient, neither though.
I would say this. I say Atlanta would do that, but I don't think Memphis will jump at it. They gonna probably want some because Trae Young, he's not spring chicken no more now.
No.
And he'll be going to the West as an undersized point guard. So
I mean, look, if they really wanted to send Ja a message about like not dealing with his stuff anymore and trading him to a team that they trade him to Toronto and get Scotty Barnes.
Would that be really sending him a message with the team that'd be over there? Brandon Ingram, Ja Morant, who else over there?
Don't nobody want to go play for Canada.
All right.
Don't nobody want to go play.
You send them to the East? You know what I mean?
Think about it. Don't nobody want to go play for Canada. Players don't really like playing for Canada because coming in and out of there, you got to go through customs every game, pretty much. You got to go through customs every game. And then, like, that might be actually good for him element-wise because you're not allowed to have guns in Canada. So, legally, you couldn't even have them in your possession.
Right.
So, that might be actually a good thing for him. And you could probably get more than just Scotty Barnes with the deal. You might be able to get what's the guard name? Emmanuel Quickly. You might be able to get Emmanuel Quickly with that.
I forgot he was even over there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you put Ja there in Toronto.
Toronto would be a good team.
I mean, Ja, Ingram. That wouldn't be an easy situation to deal with. Yeah, that wouldn't be no easy situation to deal with.
No, it's not going to be no easy situation to deal with. But if you Memphis, you come out a winner too. Because you got Scotty Barnes. And let's say you can pull Emmanuel Quickly out of that. And you could probably pull another player.
You kind of stretching it now, though.
Oh, I mean, well, it would be one of those young developmental players that's at the bottom of the roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
or maybe a draft pick.
That's possible. I mean, would you? Yeah, that's the possibility there. Do you think that the Knicks would be an option on some trade stuff?
No, because the Knicks is committed to Jalen Brunson, especially the way Jalen Brunson is playing. Anybody with eyes should be like, Jalen Brunson is untouchable here.
Over Ja?
Yeah. I think anybody right now would want Jalen Brunson over Ja Morant, right? I think that the only players that the Knicks would really entertain trading is probably OG Anunoby.
You're not really trading no star for him because I don't think Anunoby's a star.
No. Mm-hmm. But I mean, so at the end of the day, with the Grizzlies, you got to figure out what you're doing with Ja. But your first priority need to be getting the coach.
Mike Malone.
Bring in your coach. If Mike Malone wants to deal with that, because Mike Malone gotta want to, or if he doesn't want to deal with that, he would have to be like, look, if I'm coming around here, I'm getting rid of that.
Sam
Cassell?
Yeah.
I can see Sam Cassell wanting to work with Ja. Like, I can see Sam Cassell being like, look, if I come, I want to keep the young fella because I feel like I can work with that. 88-74 Warriors.
Yeah, I'm seeing. Well, damn, my stuff ain't caught up. I'm on the app to say so. Obviously, my stuff is behind a little bit because there it is. So it's 76 now.
Warriors going to end up winning this.
It should be 76 now, right? Because my man just made the shot. So
got you. Okay.
Whatever.
But yeah, that's them. I guess we just gonna keep going down the line with the West. The next game that I got was that Clippers elimination. So if you the Clippers
playing,
I mean, is this
now that might be a destination for Ja? Yep.
I mean,
you get rid of Kawhi, James Harden, and them, and try to find a way to get Ja over there. That way, Tyronn Lue got his start at play hard. He won't play good under Ty.
I mean, Ja plays hard,
right? So
regardless.
With Tyronn Lue,
I
think he'll be fine.
I don't think with Ja it's an issue as to whether or not he plays hard. Dang, they up 20. Yeah, Warriors got this. But yeah, I don't think with Ja it's an issue of playing hard or not. Like I think he gonna show up to play. I think with Ja it's just the issue of maturity.
Well, he haven't had no issues this year, so I mean it is what it is. So as long as none of it pop up anymore, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? It didn't happen this year. He been balling, doing what he do. He just got hurt. No big deal. So move that to the past.
I can see, like, I would like what you said with Sam Cassell potentially being the coach if they was to stay over there. Like Sam Cassell could teach Ja that other playing style that he needs to add to his repertoire to extend his career.
Tyronn Lue can too.
He can, but he can't do it to like Sam Cassell.
Yes, he can.
Who has he taught that's a young player that we've seen evidence of this?
Well, everybody look at how that bench came in and got busy. Every time when it seemed like Tyronn Lue does better with less.
I mean, Doc Rivers did too. Like Doc Rivers' best coaching job was when he didn't have no superstar.
Exactly. So that lets you know how. So this is the thing. Tyronn Lue, he wasn't that player, but he played with the best of the best. So he can teach you the work habits. It's kind of like how most of those coaches like that, they play with the best. They seen the work habits. They're like, listen, I played with this dude here. I was in the trenches with this dude here. I know what winning looks like because I was on a team that won. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen the habits. He can do that just as well as Sam Cassell can.
But what do you want from the Clippers if you Memphis?
What young pieces they got over there?
Only them cats that came off the bench. Don't know none of them.
If they was doing their thing though, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? But
they was able to play loose and free because there was no pressure on them anymore. The game was decided.
Yeah, but it's the problem with when you don't know who somebody is, you just assume I ain't saying you, but you just assume they can't get it in because they ain't got no shot yet. You know what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying is that from a trade perspective,
when you start, it's the thing.
There's nothing there that
we already know when you trading a star, you're not getting equal value back. That's rare.
Right, so but you want something back. Like you want something that you know is proof because everybody in the league is capable of popping off one night.
This the thing,
playing well one night.
This is the thing. If you starting over fresh, and if Jared Jackson is your guy,
if you starting over fresh, you need to get rid of him too.
But
Get rid
like
of
you said
him.
before,
Get
you were
rid of
saying
Desmond Bain.
when you were sending what you were sending me, saying or whatever the case is, and
That
or
they
no,
was turning the reins
Jaren
over to Jaren Jackson.
if it's him, whatever. You know what I mean, cool. Y'all about to win 10 games, man. But the thing is, you gonna want to get as many picks as you can, or whatever the case is, or something. You know what I mean? You gonna
or maybe you could ship Ja Morant to one of them teams that's picking early, so you can get my man Queen.
But then, why would you want Jared? If you get Jared Jackson, if you get Queen, get Jared Jackson out of here.
Yeah, get Jared Jackson up out of here.
You know what I'm saying?
Get him out of here.
Like I don't want no. Listen, man, I'm taking Queen over Jared Jackson any day of the week. So I mean, I'm not. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying that they could probably. I don't know how they'd be able to swing that three team deal or something. I don't know.
Whatever the case.
Would you say he's a good fit in the Clippers? I feel like, I mean, just playing with Ty Lue, you know, but they got a clean house. They got to. Kawhi got to go. James Harden got to go. Everybody got to go.
Norman Powell, Nicholas Batum, like
look at that young bench, because it'll be like this. Look, we gonna have to rebuild here, so we're not gonna win much. But if I'm the owner of the GM, I'm talking to Ty Lue, like, look, man, we clean the house. I liked what I seen with them young boys. They was playing pretty good with the lights on them like that. I liked what I seen. If there's some guys that you want to keep, these young dudes that you feel like that's gonna be like that, we can make that happen. But I got to come up off of Kawhi and James Harden them. So if there's players that you want, that you got an idea you want, I'll bring you in on this. But I can't keep them here. I can't keep paying this top dollar for this. I can't do this. You know what I'm saying?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I still feel like Kawhi's trade level is low. So I don't know exactly what you can get for Kawhi.
Is it higher than James Harden's?
No, they the same, fam. Because James Harden don't affect winning. He don't. That dude does not affect winning, bro.
Only in the regular season when he's at his peak form. But when you talking about playoffs, he don't show up.
He don't affect.
And that's the only thing that stops him. He doesn't show up.
Man,
dude has 7 points.
He don't affect winning. And when I mean winning, I'm meaning like you said, and that's fine. Like you said, the seedings don't matter. The Rockets about to lose. They was number 2, like you said, right?
Exactly.
So the seedings don't even matter. So if it don't matter in the playoffs, if you don't show up when I need you to show up the most, what's the point? I just got you here to sell tickets and merch.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
Which is like, you know, I don't know Steve Ballmer. Like, I don't know. To me, he seems like he wants to win because he's a fan of the game. He wants to win.
I'm not saying he don't, because he did.
I feel like when he made those moves to bring those players in, he felt like he was that much closer to winning the championship.
I'm not mad at him. I don't think Steve Ballmer knows much basketball. I think he knows names.
Yeah, he knows names, but he doesn't know.
I think because names can get you in trouble.
Right.
Oh, let's get Paul George this, that, on some 2K stuff. Make a 2K move.
Right.
Nah. I'm gonna
So the answer for the Clippers is a clean house.
You don't think so?
Clean house. No, I think that's what we saying here, and I think we're in agreement.
Yeah.
Clean house. Try to get some young pieces out of where you can get them at. Like trade them players to some teams that feel like they that one player away.
Mm-hmm.
And then try to get their young pieces off of them. Yeah. Like the teams that missed the playoffs. Start there. Or the teams that just got eliminated. Go there. Mm-hmm. Like I'll be talking to LA, be like, look, I know y'all really wanted Kawhi.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get Connect. Y'all traded them anyway.
They're not gonna do that because you got Luka over here. They play the same position.
Yeah, but Luka ball dominant. Luka play like a point guard sometimes, or he plays the position sometimes. Kawhi can play off ball. The only one that won't work with that is James Harden.
Yeah, I mean Dalton, he got to get traded in off season regardless. I mean, he
right.
got to
So
go.
I mean,
but
I would be trying to get that.
yeah, I mean that's a good because Dalton is nice. He nice. Yeah, you at this
there
point,
ain't nothing else. I mean, there ain't
not gonna
really
get a bunch of value for them. So it's almost on some stuff where it's like, yeah, the name. It's like going to the pawn shop or something. It's like, oh man, that. But I mean, you know what I mean? It's like the value you're not gonna get, and plus, you know, they passed their prime anyway. So
right.
I mean, you're not the name. Yeah, you think about the past though. So I'm getting a bunch of young dudes. I'm gonna really be talking to Tyronn Lue like, what do you need? What type of players do you need or want? So we can. I know we probably not gonna be in the playoffs. Yeah, we probably not, but I'm gonna get you the guys you need to build. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna make it pop off like that. So I'm cleaning the house regardless. And I'm gonna be trying to rebuild my team in the draft.
Would you
somehow,
Would you be willing to take? I mean, me personally, I would, but I'm just asking you. Would you be personally willing to take on one of those players on the Pistons?
You asking me as a Clippers guy?
Or I'm asking you as a Pistons guy.
I don't want to trade any of them.
You don't want to trade any of the players, even if that meant that you can get a Kawhi Leonard?
He's not going to play for us. He's not going to play for us. Why would I do that? He going to have an injury immediately through the door, dog. I don't want to deal with that. He's not going to play for us. He going to be like, oh, man, the Quad. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
Right.
I don't want James Harden either. Like, I mean, I don't even think Detroit will want him. You know what I'm saying? I don't want none of them over there in the clip with the Clippers, man. Like, I don't.
Actually, you know, the only player on the Clippers that I would entertain, which is, I think this is the one keeper that they got, but Zubac. Zubac is all right.
You think he a keeper? I think Zubac
he
is,
right.
I like him.
He all right.
I like him. I just don't,
right.
You know, if somebody came with an offer, I don't think you're going to hold on too tight.
No, but like, if I can keep him, because like that matchup with Jokic, like Jokic didn't just like clearly like outdo this dude. Like,
well, Jokic is not no defender. So all you gotta do is get up in Jokic. Jokic, I like Jokic, but he has a weakness in his defense.
Exactly. And so if you thinking about any chance that you could probably turn something that you can get in return and still make the playoffs, and you got Denver as your matchup, you're gonna be all right with that matchup. People are like, okay, well, look, he can give it to Jokic too. So
yeah. I mean, look, as the Pistons, I like our team, so I'm really like protective of our culture.
I'm jumping the gun here, so you know I wasn't supposed to jump to the Pistons if I'm doing this in order.
No, it's all good. I mean, you know, it's we kind of like but I would like a Ja over there. I think he fits the Detroit culture very well. Bring Ja over here.
Okay, but how is that going to work with him and Cade?
Why wouldn't it? Cade can run the three and still be the point forward.
Yeah, but Ja needs the ball.
Off the bench.
But Ja needs the ball.
Cade to find him, he don't even want to shoot. Cade don't even want to shoot like that, bruh. He'll find him. The way we play with the
But you just said that Ja can't shoot like that. I mean, I think he shoots well enough where he'll make the open.
Like, this is the thing. He'll find
but
him. That's listen.
You might as well just keep.
The problem we had was we couldn't score. At this point, I don't care if it's behind the arc or if it's going into the paint. We need to get the ball in the hole. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, if Ja, because he's aggressive, he's aggressive. He's aggressive. So that's going to generate points. There was nobody on Detroit that was being aggressive scoring.
You sure you want him in Detroit?
Yes.
Like,
I don't care nothing about the guns, fam. I care nothing about that. We in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, but when's the last player that Detroit had that had them kind of problems?
What you mean?
Like, when's the last player that Detroit had that had brandishing gun problems?
I don't know. I don't think we have. I'm not that I know of.
And so you already talking about the league clearly showed that they don't care for Detroit.
Yeah,
And the
but
league has clearly shown that they don't care for Ja Morant. That's a bad combination right there, man. That's a bad combination.
Listen, he's gonna be embraced here.
I'm
That's
sure
all
he's
you
gonna
need.
be embraced.
You come here and put on that red, white, and blue, you gonna be embraced here. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be loved. Forget everybody else. You know what I mean? You gonna be loved here. Get K, Ja, you know what I'm saying? Man, listen, that's a nice one too right there. It is, you know what I mean? Now we still need a shooter, but that's still, I would be trying this. If I'm Detroit, I'll be trying to pry Connect up off LA. I don't even think I had a pry like that because y'all don't want him. So come on over here.
Yeah, but they're gonna want something in return. I don't know, because just going off of where he got drafted and his potential, they're gonna want something in return that can be instant contribution. So whether that's, not saying that you got to give up, well, you might have to. The Lakers, because they got exposed terribly at the big man spot, they gonna probably want a big. So
I'll give up one of my bigs.
So Isaiah Stewart is probably the guy.
I'll give up one of my bigs for Connect because we can't score. We need to score. So, I mean, the things our big man can do, we can find that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that's something that's obsolete.
Are you sure you can find what Isaiah Stewart does? I mean, if we being honest, you can find what Duran does more than what Isaiah Stewart does.
I will listen, if they want, that's the thing, because I'm thinking of a package that would probably be if the Grizzlies, if I was able to get Ja off the Grizzlies, it'll be around Ivy and Duran, those two. Them two. You know what I'm saying? Because they know Cade that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? So it'll probably be circled around them two. When
Ivy and
Duran and it'll start with that. That's
I don't know if they would.
Discussions.
I don't know if they would want Duran like that, because they kind of already got their big starters sold up with Edie and Jaren Jackson.
Yeah. It'll start with Ivy, could probably hold. Sure.
They probably might want Asur.
I mean, I had to do it. I would have to. I mean, to get Ja over there, I would have to. Because if I do this, right, if I sit there for more scoring, I would have to. You got to give up something for something. You can't just, fleece them. So if they want to score,
Ja Morant for Asur and Jaden Ivey, you looking at that and you like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna wait a little bit before I say yeah and try to wiggle something. I know that deal is there. I'm gonna try and negotiate other stuff. If they keep saying no, fine. You know what I mean? Okay, cool, boom, bang, we got him. Now
you're gonna probably want to try to get Kennard out of there, because I mean the Pistons had him.
Look, yeah, but how many years ago was that? Like 6?
Right, but he can still shoot.
I'm going for Kennard, brother. Kennard probably shoots better than him right now.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying if you're making the deal with the Grizzlies, and you looking at what they bring you, okay, would you be willing to give up a little bit more if it meant you got Ja and Desmond Bane?
Yes, because Desmond Bane right there, he could shoot. So if I got them two.
So what you giving up? So we already got Asur.
So Asur
and
Ivy. If you want.
You giving up Ron Hollins?
No, because that mess up my Connect move.
Oh, so Ron Hollins is the bait for Connect?
Mm-hmm. That mess up my Connect move.
So then you got to give up. You might have to give up. Let me see, Jaden Ivey and Asur Thompson. I'm surprised you're getting rid of Asur.
I don't want to, but I mean,
Jaden Ivey and Asur. And let's say for them, they probably gonna want like, what would they want? They probably gonna want It's gonna be one of them veteran players, which is I wouldn't even like scoff at the thought. Like I'll be like, all right, let's run it.
Oh, how about do you
Pick
think
one.
Do you think the Lakers will give up Connect for Beasley? If I called LA like, look, we give you Malik Beasley.
The Lakers tried out Beasley before. I don't think they're gonna go down that road again.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I thought he played for I don't remember when he played for the Lakers.
He was on the Beasley before. Like the Lakers got him.
Michael Beasley?
Yeah.
Or this Beasley?
No, Malik.
I know Michael Beasley was over there too.
Yeah, but they got Malik when he was fresh off of Milwaukee.
Okay.
And he didn't do nothing for them in the big games, like he just didn't do nothing for Detroit.
So that'd be okay. I mean, that'd be a guy I thought immediately ASAP. Hey,
they probably gonna be like, I don't know, like with them, I don't know. Like, I mean, shoot, I'll dangle Tobias Harris. Like, yo.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Keep forgetting you had him. I'll try that. Yeah, it's a veteran.
Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway Jr. I'll give them both.
Yeah, I'll be trying to get, if I'm Detroit, I'll be trying to get Dalton over there, because Dalton, you gonna come over there, they're gonna love you here in Detroit. You get it in, the fans gonna rock with you. You know what I'm saying?
I would be trying to get Imani Bates on Cleveland too, because
this the crib. So right. I mean, that should be an easy move to make. Honestly, it shouldn't even be much negotiations with that. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be hard to get them, because they don't use
another
them.
Veteran player right there. Like for them, like you can probably give them Dennis Schroeder.
Now the thing is this, right? I wouldn't need, now to be real, I wouldn't even need Ja if we got Imani Bates, because the thing is this, I'm like, okay, we starting you at this point. I'm starting Imani Bates at the 2, bro. I'm starting him at the 2 because he can score. He can score, so that means Ivy is trade bait, so I can use Ivy for a move, which means I'm going to talk to Joe D. Hey, Joe, former Detroit Piston champion, multiple times over, a legend here. How you doing, sir? We got Ivy for you. I know you want to come up out of that out of shape guy you have over there who's always hurt, Zion Williamson. You know what I'm saying? Let's start with Ivy. What's up?
He gonna be like, keep talking, because it ain't gonna be straight up.
I know it's not gonna be straight up, but I mean,
straight up.
We're gonna start with Ivy.
Like, he gonna be like, okay, are you willing to give me Ivy and Duran, and maybe another player? He gonna be looking at you just like that. He gonna be because think about it. He trying to rebuild here.
Yeah, exactly. So but you got to come up off of Zion to do that.
He gonna want Ivy, and he gonna want Duran. At least I know I would. That's the beginning of the conversation. That's the beginning of the conversation. I'm like, okay, so if you're not willing to entertain at least these 2 players, we can't even continue this conversation. Ivy and Duran need to come over here.
Right.
Ivy and Duran need to come over here, and then we can start to continue to have a conversation. Because I'm looking at your roster and I'm seeing things right now, and I'm like, okay, they play pretty good. I just feel like I could use these 2 guys, because I'm giving you a guy that if and when he plays, he's a physical presence down low. Just now, he gonna miss some games. He ain't gonna qualify for none of the awards. You know, he ain't gonna because they like, you gotta play at least 65 games.
Yeah.
He might not qualify for none of them awards.
No, he's not going to, but
he might play 64 games.
I don't care if I get Bates. I'm not worried about Ivy. Go ahead, boom. That's fine. I guess if I get to keep Stewart, fine. But now, if you say Asur and Ivy,
I'm surprised you want to give him up.
I don't want to like that, but I understand that. You know what I mean?
He gonna probably be like, okay, let me get Ron Hollins too.
I give you all three of them.
You not or you will.
So Asur, Ivy, and then who else?
No.
Hollins, all three of them for
No, it'll be Ivy, Duran, and Asur. Or Ron Hollins.
Now I'm speaking as if I have Amani Bates in my jersey already. So if I have Amani Bates already in the Detroit jersey, Ivy, I'm not tripping. Boom. So Asur, I could move. Well,
because outside of that one play, he was putting the clamps on Brunson.
Well, I mean, everybody gets shook. That's why I'm not surprised. Brunson, Asur haven't been in this situation, so I wasn't shocked at all with this. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But I don't think that'll happen twice though. I think they got hurt. I think his heart was broke there. I don't think he's gonna allow. If I'm thinking if I think he's who I think he is, the brothers, I think he's gonna be working on that in the offseason. He's not gonna be able to sleep that good, so he's not gonna allow that to pop off again right there. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you got to go through that. I know it hurt, brother. I know you slid and everything. I know it hurt. You know what I mean?
All off the TV screen.
I know it hurt. I know it hurt bad too. So sometimes you need that for growth. So that's all I was telling him. Like, hey, it happens, man. No, it happens.
I would be keeping him, dog. I'd rather give up Ron Hollins. Here, you can have Hollins.
No, listen, I'm saying, I hear you. I feel you all day. I'm just, because you got to think about it. When you buy something, you don't want that buyer's remorse. So you thinking you really got to be careful because
you're taking on somebody that might not be available for you when it counts.
That, and he got to get with the culture and what we do. We got to get on the program too.
I wouldn't even be trying to entertain that.
Was Zion?
To be honest with you, I wouldn't even entertain Zion. I wouldn't.
I mean, so I know they was talking about Devin Booker. I keep seeing the Devin Booker and Durant posts. I keep seeing that. So I would take Durant over there because I mean, we need a scorer. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for Durant to be OKC
Durant ain't cut. Durant ain't cut to be in Detroit.
Why? Detroit will love Durant.
They would love him, but he don't fit the culture.
He don't need to be all like that because he just coming in the ball.
Durant,
he got backup with everybody we got over there. We good. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, go and do you.
What you got to give up to get Durant because the price got to be a little bit higher.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay, man.
He's more valuable.
Trying to clean house.
But he's more valuable than Zion and Ja Morant.
Yeah, but you're not getting your roster for no Durant right now.
No, but you ain't coming up with nothing. You gonna feel it. Like when you make a move to get a Kevin Durant, you gonna feel it.
So is it more so to Booker? Because if I keep seeing this circulation of Devin Booker, so wouldn't it cost more to get Booker than Durant right now?
Because of age, it should. So
what is the conversation starting around with Booker for Detroit? Who's the player starting off rip? Cade. Who's the player starting? Because it can't be Cade, bro. No Cade, bro. Don't even mention. Don't mention that at all. Like what?
So your team gonna be looking real different.
So you trying to strip me all my players?
Yo, youth. I'm stripping you of your youth. Duran is included in this deal. Asur is included in this deal. I'll take Malik Beasley off of you. I'll take Ron Hollins off you. And I'll take Jaden Ivey off you.
That's my whole core, fam.
That's what I'm saying. Your team gonna look real different. Because you also got to think about what he does to the books.
Yeah, we might as well listen. We might as well
I'm gonna dangle it in front of you. Because I'm gonna be like, yeah, man, he had a game just recently, man. He scored 70. He scored a 70 piece, right? Yeah.
I don't know if we should really. I mean, we got.
He from Grand Rapids, man.
I
He'll
know
wear
that's
that with
Michigan all
pride.
day. I
He'll
know,
wear
but
that with pride.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not for him. I'm not willing to gut it for him.
I'm not willing to do it neither.
So
I'm not willing to do it. No, I would do everything I can to keep those pieces intact and have to give up very minimal.
I don't know what we can do, honestly. I mean, if we can pull a Kenneth out and at least get him somebody who can score. I say my main two targets right now, if I'm Detroit, I'll be trying to go for Bates because he can score. He just need a shot. Go for Bates and Kenneth. Them two right there. I think that'll be the easiest things we can do.
Well, for
as
the
far
Lakers,
as scoring, yeah.
For the Lakers to trade Kenneth, would you be willing to do? Because let's think about the obvious need that they have right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you be willing to trade Duren for Kenneth straight up?
Yeah, I would. I don't want to like that, but I would. because
that's who the Lakers are going to be
Kenneth,
like. That's the
can
first
score.
thing.
Yeah, big body that can score. As long as I still got Isaiah Stewart, that's fine. Because Duren, it's not like Duren does something that can't be done here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
no,
I mean,
but like even what he does is somewhat of a rarity.
I feel you. And what I will also be trying to do is this. I'll be keeping my eye on Queen and seeing what type of draft, how I can.
You're going to have to trade up. With y'all being in the playoffs, y'all ain't no lottery team no more.
No, I know. I'm just saying. So I will be seeing, like, that's what your scouting team and that's what your office is for, man. They got to know how to do these things. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. Right. It's not like Derek Queen going number one and nothing like that. I don't think he going number one in the draft and nothing like that. So
yeah, but who's ahead of him? You think Cooper Flag going over him?
We gonna address that when we do the draft. Cooper Flag's going ahead of him. Oh, he's going ahead of him.
That's
top.
If he's
that's easy
coming out. Because I heard something about he might be going back to Duke.
I wouldn't be surprised off that either. Now,
so if Cooper Flag stays at Duke, who's ahead of Queen?
We gotta look and see.
Because I know Cohen Carr is good, but I don't think Cohen Carr is Derek Queen good.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Queen, like, I think I'm not gonna say people sleeping on Queen. I'm like, this dude's nice.
Queen, like, if I'm being honest, Queen looks like another version of like a DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, Queen like he a problem. So I will get. I'm like I will be trying to see what I can do to. Now, if he number one, we ain't gonna be able to get him. It's not gonna happen. But if he,
let me see who was the worst team in the league. I mean, I know that's not how this goes, but who gonna have the most lottery balls? Utah's gonna have the most lottery balls.
I'd be mad if I was him going there, man. Utah don't be. This is the thing with Utah, right? It's not like Utah is some second-class citizen organization, but man, they it's just I don't know what they be on because they always had, I don't know, but I'm trying to see the mock draft, right? Because I'm trying to see where they got him.
Well, all of that stuff, like they need to get final declaration because I didn't get. Did you get an alert saying that Cooper Flag declared? Because I haven't gotten it yet, or at least I don't remember it getting it.
I haven't, but the mock draft they got him to the
because Cooper Flag does like everything.
Yeah, so on CBS Sports, let me look at the date of this. What's the date today?
Today
so May 2nd.
Today's the 4th.
So May 2nd on CBS Sports. This is the mock draft, CBS Sports, right? So number one, and Cooper obviously Flag. This isn't exactly the most accurate, but whatever. Cooper Flag, to the Jazz, right? Dylan Harper, point guard.
What team you play for?
Rutgers.
I gotta look at that. I gotta look at him.
6'6", 215 point guard. They say his projected team is the Wizards.
I mean, that's what they need.
Ace Bailey, another Rucker. You know what I'm saying?
See, I don't know nothing about them.
Obviously, they official, it seems. So 6'10", 200. His projected team is Charlotte. Okay, small forward. VJ Edgecombe. Pelicans.
They got this many players ahead of him.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said I'd be trying to trade. Like, I'm serious. So Baylor, 6'5", 180. Pelicans.
I know there's a guard on Arizona. The guard on Arizona that transferred from North Carolina. He gonna be another guard to look out for.
Is he? What's his name?
I think his last name is Love.
He might be in this mock draft. Cayman Maluk, whatever. He's a center, 7'2", 250. Projected to the Sixers.
What team?
Duke. That sound like Joel Embiid. They looking to trade this, bro. If they looking to get this 7'2" center, they might be thinking about moving Joel Embiid.
Everybody should be thinking about moving Joel Embiid.
You know what I'm saying? Khan.
I think his name Caleb Love. I think his name is. Yeah, Caleb Love. Caleb Love, the guard on Arizona. He a senior, so he definitely coming out. He averaged 17, 4, and 3. Let me see here. Yeah. Yeah, he's another player that I know is going to be coming out.
Okay. Number 6, Khan.
He dropped 35 in the game that they lost to Duke.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. These guys not averaging crazy numbers either in these top picks, though. I mean, Khan, Kanupa, whatever. I can't pronounce that. I'm gonna say Khan K, a Duke guy.
Yeah, that's a Duke kid. Yeah,
217, small forward. They got him protected to the Nets. Trey Johnson, I know who that is. From Texas, 6'6", 190. They got him projected to the Raptors. Okay. Kasparis, man, these names is wild, dog. Okay, I'm gonna say KJ.
Did Queen declare?
I'm trying to see because I'm not seeing them. You know what I mean?
Because
Illinois, you know, he plays at Illinois. Point guard, he projected to go into the Spurs. Pick number 8, Colin Murray. I know who that is. South Carolina. He a sophomore. They got him projected going to the Rockets. All right.
All of that's going to change.
Power forward. Derek Queen, here he is. They got him projected going to the Blazers. Pick number 10.
Take it, man. Look, Chauncey will love that.
Queen.
Chauncey will love that. If you can pull that off, like, you might keep him as like on some backup center stuff and make him take Ayton's job, but that shouldn't be that hard to do.
All you gotta do is that just make Ayton tradable. Just put him on the block now.
Right. Yeah, but like Portland is apparently like on gaining some positive momentum right now. Especially for them to extend Chauncey. So if that's what you're doing, then you got to ask yourself, does bringing Derek Queen in right now as a rookie, does he has to earn that job. You ain't just giving it to him.
You don't think Detroit could trade up to the 10th pick?
They have to give up. They got to give up during.
Now, this is just a mock draft. Somebody might see Queen and be like, no, you want him at 3.
Yeah, this is going to change. Mock drafts are never really accurate. Like, the most accurate mock drafts are normally the ones that's the closest to the draft date, because that's the ones where after all the scouts they done heard buzzes from different teams and who's looking out for who and stuff like that. Those be the most accurate ones, but even those can be off.
So to conclude,
that many players better than Queen, dog.
No, I'm looking at these averages. It's crazy. Like, nobody's like really, their numbers is not
like, I need to see, like, they banking off fully off of potential, which
the numbers I'm seeing is not. I'm gonna be honest. The numbers I'm seeing it's not first round numbers. I mean, I'm not
Well,
seeing that.
numbers don't tell the whole story, but
With the stats.
yeah, stats don't lie, but they don't tell the whole truth. So we got to kind of look at this and see what the deal was going on. At the end of the day, if you really like that, you supposed to be killing in some shape or form.
But that's what I'm saying. Like these dudes don't. But this has been the same story in college. Period. Now maybe with this NIL stuff, this might start making college. If you notice, eyes has been a little bit more on college lately now.
And
so it's
then,
gonna take a minute. It's gonna take a while. But
and then you got those foreign players. Like there's always some foreign overseas cat that slips into the top, whatever. So it's like, yeah, we gonna have some fun looking at these dudes because we going to be looking at these players and we gonna be like, I don't see it. Yeah. Or we gonna be like, you know what? That player, he might have something. Because like, I like what Cohen Carr does, but Cohen Carr, I know his offensive game individually might not be that cold, but his like ability to, he's like another, like when I looked at him play, I was looking at him and I was like, this dude looks like he plays like that Asur Thompson-ish A-man type of role.
Nothing wrong with those guys. You need those guys. Though.
Maybe like the Matrix or something.
You need those guys for champ. Those guys, it's like the glue to championship teams. You need them dudes, man. So you need those guys. Those guys are needed. You know what I mean? So they help us. Man, you need those guys. So to conclude Detroit, I would say this. If I'm Detroit, I'm not saying no move there. I'm not saying there's moves that's off the table. I would move real careful when it comes to that. I move very careful when it comes to making certain moves, man, because you don't want to ruin the course. So I would a move like that's effective that you don't got to give up a lot for is Monty Bates. I'll go for him. That's a hometown guy. He get busy. Go for him, right?
I think for Detroit, you keep Dennis Schroeder because Schroeder came in and played well. Malik Beasley, I don't think you can get rid of him.
Why?
Because he came in and played. I mean, you got to get another shooter that can shoot.
Amani can shoot, fam. Amani can shoot.
I'm not saying that he can't, but I'm just saying Imani, because he hasn't gotten the opportunity to show it yet.
Josh, you and I both know what's up, what we've seen.
Imani is better than him. Yes.
Right. So get Imani Bates and put him in that spot. That I don't care what shot. We've seen what he can do when he's given a little bit of this dude goes off. Man, right. Bring him over. And we don't, because like you said, Malik Beasley been in the league for some years now, and he always chokes.
Right. So what I'm saying is I would try to keep him and lessen his role because he's not somebody that you obviously going to be looking at crunch time and being like, okay, yeah, let's put him in. Let's try to get some shots in.
Yeah.
No, he's not that guy. Like, I'd rather have Connect. Now, if you talking about Connect over Malik, then yeah, we going.
I'm trying to get both of them. Those are my two main targets.
Right.
Because they can score.
But I'm just talking about it in the sense of guys who meant the most to this Detroit team that made the playoffs and was able to fight with the Knicks. Malik Beasley was the big time perimeter shooter, so you got to have that role filled. Tobias Harris, he played better with Detroit this time around than the last time, but I feel like he's very replaceable.
I just feel like Tobias Harris is even killed. You know who Tobias Harris is to me on a lesser degree? He like an Al Horford. Al Horford never really improved. He stayed the same. He just in the dope situation.
Right.
That's how I look at Tobias Harris, dog. Seriously. Because Al Horford, I never seen Al Horford really
Well, Al Horford has played big in big games. We have yet to say that about this dude, Tobias. Al Horford has played big in big games. So I'm not going to.
Would you say he improved a great deal throughout his career, or he stayed the same?
Well, skill-wise, I wouldn't say not necessarily, but like to show up in the biggest moment, contributing to multiple teams that was in the playoffs. Like he has a whole lot of big game experience.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, exactly. But he never improved at all. He just stayed. And it's nothing. It's like Joe Johnson kind of stayed the same.
I mean, like for a guy like Joe
really
Johnson,
like he stayed the same. He cold-blooded, but he stayed the same. Like a DeMar DeRozan, stayed the exact same. Never changed. He just nice. That's it. But he's not like.
Yeah, see, but like there is growth in showing up in big games. So it might not be like it might like be like those like sports psychs that he needs to see like to get his mind right for the big moments.
Mm-hmm. Because
that's the difference between DeMar DeRozan and let's say a guy like that's the difference between DeMar DeRozan and let's say Jimmy Butler. Yeah. Like Jimmy Butler is not more skilled than DeMar DeRozan. No, but like because we see Jimmy Butler, he got the IQ and he shows up for the big games, and you feel this dude's presence.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Jimmy Butler is like, okay, yeah, he's better than DeRozan.
Yeah.
As an NBA basketball player, he's better than DeRozan. Skill-wise, no, he's not. But when you talking about impact on the game, he's better than DeRozan.
I'm not arguing with you there. I'm not arguing with you there. I'm not arguing that at all. I've always been frustrated, you know what I'm saying, with DeMar DeRozan. You know what I'm saying? Because this dude is nice. But he just it's these guys that I see because what would you say Joe Johnson's best years in Phoenix or Atlanta?
Joe Johnson?
Yeah.
I'll say his best years was in Atlanta because he was more so like viewed as the focal point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, given Atlanta, they had a squad in their own right.
Yeah, no, they did.
Jeff Teague, Joe Johnson, Josh Smith, Paul Millsap, Al Horford, and then that was the best version of Kyle Korver.
Kyle Korver? Oh, he was over there? Man.
That was the best version of Kyle Korver. And they had Jamal Crawford over there.
Kyle Korver been in the league for a minute. How many years this dude been in the league, man?
Well, he ain't in the league now, but like.
No, I'm just saying.
But like he was in the league for a minute. I mean, like he got drafted by Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Then I feel like he played for Utah for a minute. And I think that was like around the time. That did he play?
I know he played for the Rockets at one point. I know that.
Because for a minute I dreaded the thought of Kyle Korver putting on a Warriors jersey. Because that's paradise.
Oh, wait, hold on. Dog, you said Kyle Korver. I'm thinking of what's the point guard you can't stand?
Oh, Kyle Lowry's.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry been in the league for a minute.
Yeah, Kyle Lowry been in the league for a while.
Yeah, but
he was on that Houston team with T-Mac and Yao.
That's what I'm saying. But Kyle Korver was official. That dude could shoot, dog. He was cold, dog.
That's what I'm saying. And you looking at this squad, and I'm like, Atlanta, they was the number 1 seed.
Yeah, they was. Was Marvin Williams over there too? At the time?
They had Marvin Williams too. Yep.
That's the team that went. Is that the team that went 7 games with the Celtics? Because remember, they went 7 games in the first round with the Celtics with KG piercing them.
It might be. It might be. That Atlanta squad was built like a Western team, dog. Like the most of the Western Conference teams, like they had a bench and everything. And then I forget what the coach's name was, but I got his face in my head. Like I know the redhead coach. But yeah, they was out there. Like Jeff Teague's emergence was big deal for that team.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Teague over there, and yeah, that squad. Atlanta had a good squad.
They didn't have the best. They should have won a championship. Should they have won with that?
I mean, well, they could have, but like this is where when you have that one great player that can impact the whole series and like take a team like that and make them understand that he's the man amongst the boys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like, I mean, I hate to bring this up as an example, but like when you have a solid team and neither one of those players are the best in the league at anything, they can get overcame when they deal with a monster. It's like that whole debate that they got going on right now. 100 men versus one gorilla.
Oh, God. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you got that one gorilla that you got to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, and neither one of y'all is gorilla-like in anything.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's a problem to deal with.
No, you're right.
That's a problem to deal with. So with a team like that, you let a LeBron James prime LeBron James, prime Allen Iverson, prime Carmelo Anthony, prime Kobe Bryant, prime any version of any top player. They can take, y'all got a squad, but can't neither one of y'all deal with me. I'm about to neutralize everything that y'all got going on.
So you saying the Hawks ain't had none of that? That's why, and that's my point about Joe Johnson.
Yeah, they ain't had Joe Johnson was always solid. You always knew the rock was going to Joe Johnson in the clutch. That's what he does.
Joe Johnson got the ability, dog. If he had that nastiness in him, he could have. Man, listen, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I ain't gonna say like he Vince Carter nice.
Joe Johnson ain't nasty. Like if he was vicious with it, I've never seen nobody just shut down Joe Johnson, dog. I've never ever seen that. This dude be killing you on some mechanic. If he was just nasty with it, he probably could. His offensive ability tells me like, hey, if he had that nasty that screw loose up there, he can get a championship.
Yeah, I mean, if he was that,
you know what I'm saying, like,
if he was that superstar caliber player, he would have took that team to the finals.
Because that team don't sound bad to me.
It was too loaded.
If I'm a GM, I don't mind taking or if I'm a coach, I wouldn't mind having that roster. That roster don't sound too bad to me.
Not at all. Not at all. But once again, that's been the problem with the Eastern Conference when it came to the number one seeds. A whole lot of the number one seeds, they good players, but they ain't the best at nothing, and they can get neutralized real fast. You know, like those Raptors teams that was number one seed, that's the same story with them. The Pacers team, even when Paul George was on his ascension,
I forget they should have won a championship with them. Sorry, forget all that. There's no excuse for that. They was nice. They should have won a championship with that. I'm sorry, like nope. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, that's where you bump into LeBron James, and he like neutralizes a lot of that.
But they was having issues. It wasn't like LeBron just walked through them. So y'all
no, they was having issues. But when LeBron turned that switch and said we ain't losing, you know, Lance Steven blowing all in his ear and he tried everything. He tried every tactic that he can think of that would essentially try to throw LeBron off his game. Like Bron was just that mentally locked in.
That's cool. He can be locked in. The thing is, he's been locked in and lost titles. So that's what I'm saying. You can still win.
That's because every time LeBron lost the title, he went up against a juggernaut that had a dude that was on that superstar level. He wasn't losing to nobody that was not in his atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't losing to nobody that was not in his atmosphere. You can't recall a loss in the playoffs where he lost to somebody that was not in his atmosphere.
That's cool. I'm just saying he could be beaten. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he can be, but you gotta have that dog that's in his atmosphere of that type of air. You gotta have that.
So you saying the Mavericks had dogs like that?
The Mavericks had Dirk. That was enough.
Would you say Dirk is a dog? Like a dog, like nasty dog, or he just cold?
Man, look.
Would you say Dirk is nasty? Like,
is Dirk in that air? Is Dirk not in that air? He's one of the greatest power forwards we ever had.
No, I'm saying, as far as like, would you say he's Kevin Garnett nasty?
In Dirk, what sense, though? In what sense?
Because you say a nice guy. Is Dirk a nice guy or not?
He can be a nice guy off the floor, but when he got the rock, he looking at you like he gonna kill you.
I mean, because
I mean, being a nice guy off the floor is not what we talking about here. We talking about are you a nice guy in between them lines?
What I'm saying with Dirk Nowitzki, right? Because Dirk is my man's. What I'm saying is, but he scares you, right? You saying, are you scared of him?
If I ain't got nobody that can compete in that air, you best believe I'm scared of it, because I'm looking at that. I'm like, look, man, we need somebody that's gonna be able to neutralize this guy. Like, and when I say neutralize, I don't mean shut him down. I mean, like, you gotta equal his impact to where this becomes a battle between your role players.
Should the Mavericks have won that series?
When you look at it technically on some team stuff, yes, they should have, because the Mavericks, they had a team, they had the chemistry, they had the coaching, experienced coaching, and like I said before, they had a starting lineup based on the league at that time. They had another starting lineup coming off the bench, and you had vets that knew how to play, because you had Jason Kidd, Sean Marion, was Peja Stojakovic on that team?
I don't think he was ever on Dallas. I could be wrong though.
You had him. You had Jason Terry. That was the JJ Barea team. You had what was the Haitian dude's name that they had, the backup guard that was coming in too? They had a Haitian backup dude. I forgot how to say his name.
He wasn't that wasn't Pietrus, was it?
No. It wasn't Pietrus. It was somebody else. But anyway, you had him. You had who was the starting center? Tyson Chandler or Brendan Haywood?
Tyson. Okay,
so Brendan Haywood coming off the bench. Like, you had all of that. And Miami literally just had James Wade and Bosh. They didn't have none of those solid role players that they got the year after that. Like, Ray Allen wasn't on that team. Mike Miller wasn't on that team. I don't even know if James Jones was on that team at that time, being a shooter or anything like that. They didn't have no other center then. I mean, they had Udonis Haslem, but he was starting. They ain't had no bench. They ain't have nothing that they can really go to like that. So if we looking at it, and Eric Spoelstra, that was his first time ever coaching too. Remember, so he still had to learn.
Yeah.
So if we looking at all factors involved in this, theoretically, they should have won, because Miami didn't even have their strategy figured out. They just thought this was going to be easy, which is, for the most part, it was. For them to get to the finals the first year, and they just look like, oh yeah, well, we just gonna run the floor with Wade and Bosh. I mean, Wade and James. We just gonna run the floor, and we're gonna be able to, out athletic every team that we play against. That was pretty much the recipe.
I'm just asking, when you start talking about certain players, because with Dirk, right? You can get busy on Dirk.
You can, but he can also get busy on you. That is
true
what I'm saying.
Indeed fact. You know what I'm saying? That
That's
is
what I'm
true indeed
saying.
fact. But he didn't win until he got whom? Jason Kidd and all of that, right? Because
Right, Jason
remember with
Kidd,
Nash and Dirk and them and Michael Finley wasn't nothing to play with
they
either.
wasn't nothing to play with neither. But who did they lose to? They lost to the Spurs, right?
They went to the
They
conference finals with them? Did they?
they lost. Well, they went to the finals.
They didn't go with them. They didn't go with Nash and them.
No, he went beforehand.
Yeah, I know he went before.
So I mean, look, Dirk, he's already been there.
Dirk is official. I'm just saying, he don't strike me as a super like he don't have that look in his eye. He just cold.
Yeah, I mean, but look, it's not about having the look in your eye. It's about having the look of the play.
You know, I'm talking about the ultra obsessive guys that want to win. You know what I mean?
You don't got to be ultra obsessive. You just got to be effective. That's all you got to be. You ain't got to be ultra. You ain't got to be no psychopath out here to win a championship. You just.
And that's why I'm saying the way you explain it, make it sound that way.
All I'm saying is, you got to have somebody of that caliber to compete with somebody that's of that caliber that you can be like, okay, now he's neutralized. Not that like we stopped him. It's like he went off and we got our guy that went off, and this game is staying close. Now our role players, they need to do their part to determine who's gonna win this game.
No, I agree. I don't disagree with that. That's facts. Well,
because had Cade Cunningham neutralized Jalen Brunson, we wouldn't even be talking about the Pistons not going to the second round.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like I said, we need to score. I mean, Cade, it's like this.
But well, theoretically, Cade has enough role players on this team currently to where he should have been able to beat them if he just would have been.
Well, the score tells you that. So
right.
It tells you that every game in Detroit was lost by literally a single digit or something.
Right. So
pisses you off right there. So
it's just like, one of those things. So, but Cade is just young. This is his first time, so he's got to learn.
I'm quite sure in the offseason, it's like, okay, it's a lot of footage. If I'm the coach, we going over that whole series back to all the time. Hey, look, man, because there's a lot of mistakes. Like, so we gonna be, folks gonna have to get their offensive game up. That's for sure. Cade, we gonna need you to.
If they keep this team without adding too much to it, yeah, they gonna have to get their offensive game up.
Even if they, you still should want to do that.
Right.
You still should want to improve in the offseason. You see where we was at? We could have been in the second round now. So if y'all would have just, man, I'll be on the head. That's all. If I'm JB, I mean, I'll be proud of the fact that we got to where we was at, but we can improve now. So since we here,
but that's when your evaluations of players need to come into play. Yo evaluate, like, how many games did they lose that if they would have just shot a better percentage from the free throw line, they would have won.
Exactly. So a lot of footage, a lot of all that. So yeah, I get it. We got to where we got to. I mean, it's a milestone from where we was at last year. So that's good, but we need to fix this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, we people know we here now. We here, we in the building, they know what's up. Now
it's literally almost it's literally almost like looking at the Lions.
Very similar.
Because when you look at how the Lions climbed out of that hole and that coaching staff and what they did, like, they came in and they got the right players in the locker room, and you seen that the Lions was going to be a better team. Like, they didn't jump as fast. Like, the Lions didn't go from being the worst team in the league to being a playoff team. Like, they gradually got there.
Yeah, I know.
But the Pistons, they went from being the worst team in the league to a playoff team.
Yeah. But it's not that hard to make the playoffs in the NBA no more either.
Well, yeah.
We know that. You know what I mean? Like, most people, it's like participation awards almost. NFL, you really got to get it in to get there. You know what I mean?
So, right. So
is that all the squads?
No, we didn't do all the squads, but we gonna have to touch it another day.
Yeah.
Cause I gotta go to work.
I gotta get up and go to work too. So what day you looking? I know Thursday I gotta do something with Louis, so I probably won't be able to get on Thursday.
That's fine. I can do it tomorrow if you want.
Tomorrow?
I can do it tomorrow. I can do it Wednesday, Friday.
I think Wednesday would be the best because she's gonna be at the hall.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what she's gonna be doing on the Zoom. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Thursday, hold on, let me see here. I don't think I mean I think I could do Thursday if you wanted to, but you said you gotta do something with Louis.
Yeah, Louis, I ain't gonna be able to do that. But Wednesday, I think Wednesday would be fine because she does the hall, so that might be the best day, one of the best days for me, really, when she at the hall. Because I know we clear on that for sure. So
got you. Okay. Yeah, we can plan for that, and we can talk about these other teams. I'm sure by that time we're gonna have something else to talk about because by Wednesday we gonna have let me see. I think game 1 for almost every series would be played outside of let me see here. Tomorrow is the Knicks and the Celtics game 1, then Thunder and Nuggets game 1. Tuesdays, Pacers and Cavs game 2, Warriors and Timberwolves game 1. Yeah, by the time Wednesday rolls around, every team would have played at least once. So yeah, we'll have something to talk about. I'm pretty sure the teams that have lost, you're gonna hear some news about some potential movements, maybe.
But, the Rockets. Oh yeah, I can't wait to talk about that. So we're gonna definitely have more information on that. So this is gonna be up. I'm gonna have this up tomorrow for sure. So
all right, cool.
It'll be up in its totality. So we gonna have that done. So I gotta get up. You gotta get up. So we'll be back on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right, for sure.
All right, then. Peace.
Yep.